Let's fight, folks. Let's fight. Let's fight. Let's fight. Wherever you guys are joining us from, wherever you guys are joining us from, they're trying to stop us here, but we ain't taking that. Good to see all of you guys. Good to see all of you guys. Welcome in the ring, guys. Let's fight. Let's fight. Let's fight, guys. Good to see each and every one of you. Good to see each and every one of you tonight. Good to see you guys.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Wherever you guys are joining us from, it's our privilege to have you guys with us this evening. Wherever you guys are joining us from, it is indeed our privilege to have all of you with us tonight. And folks, this is our, it's great to see you guys wherever you're joining us from. It's really great to see each and every one of you guys. We got to fight. We got to fight. We got to fight. Lots of things are happening out there, and folks, we got to fight. We cannot give up. We got to fight. We contend with ideas. We got to fight, folks. We contend with ideas. We contend with thoughts. We contend with policies. We contend with personalities. Folks, we got to fight. We got to fight. Don't nobody tell you differently. They want us to roll over and play dead. I'll show you this evening what happens when you roll over and you play dead. Good to have all of you in the ring with us tonight, wherever you guys are joining us from. I'm seeing all the usual suspects. I'm seeing Onessa Wardeen and Marlon Williams. I see Eva DeAndre, Matthew, is it McDonaldson? Let me get it right. Matthew, where's Matthew disappeared to? Matthew, Petula Boyce and Lisa Pitt, Lily McGarrell, Rion Nurse, all you wonderful, beautiful folks. Good to see each and every one of you this evening. Great to have you guys in the ring, wherever you guys are joining us from, at home here in Guyana, internationally, around the world. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Really good to see you guys out in full force this evening. Everett Small and Derek Smith, Orwin Don Cook and Alicia Isaac Barrows. Good to see you. Anita Samuels and Chester. Good to see you, Patricia Asana, Candy Nelaine Indrajit. Good to see you, Candy, from Region 6 there, and Chester. Good to see you, Anne. Candy, what's that name? I gotta give a shout out to. Tell me, Candy, tell me. Anita Samuels, good to see you, Anita. And also all you other folks, all of you other folks, great to see you guys. Guys, you know, as you come on board, you got to share the live stream this evening. You got to share the live stream. Guys, we're so privileged to have you. Hope you guys have had a great weekend and you guys are ready. You guys are ready to hit the ground running, ready to take on challenges come your way. Really good to see each and every one of you guys this evening. Great to see all of you. Whether you guys are joining us on Twitter, you're joining us on Facebook. Yes, you're all fast. Y'all on that blew up. You're all fast. Whether you're joining us on YouTube, guys, it's our privilege to have each and every one of you. Marsha Glasgow, Ebon Lamy, Donna Young. Good to see you, Donna. I see also Fian Marshall, Petal Brown, and I see going by so fast. Dacia Carter, Paul D'Angelo, Kenrick Vorwin, Tracy Smith, good to see you there. Tracy, Felix, Joylyn Cook, Alexi, Ines, good to see you there. Freddie James, Sharon Eastman, Deborah Sharona Lynch, good to see you, Deborah. I see Audrey as well. Asani Bowman is in the house. Lisa Pitt is here too. Elderly Gilbert, LeBon Lammy, all of you wonderful folks. All of you wonderful folks. You know, I see Candy again, but I don't see what she's telling me. She says he's a big fan of yours. Let me see if I can find the comment that went before that, Candy. Candy, got to put everything in one, all in one. I see Glendon Tony's in the house as well. I see Claire Capel, Felix Walker, all you beautiful folks. Hazel Ramkin. I see Denise London Welchman is here with us. So great to have all of you. Honita Palmer, good to see you. Honita, I see June Chase as well as with us. And Lyndon Gill. All you fantastic people. Lyndon Gill joining us from New York City is in the house tonight. I see also Shawnette Halley and Lyndon Gill. Give our respects to all of those persons at your end. Respect commanders. Marlon Francois is with us. Angela McDonald. All of you beautiful folks. I see also, yeah, so Candy's telling me to give a shout to Marky. So big up Marky, big up, enough respect, respect and manners. Respect and manners, Marky. Marky. Candy friend, Candy associate, Candy acolyte, Marky. Enough respect. Guys, great to see you. Great to see you guys. You can't let nobody steal your joy. You know, let's fight. You gotta protect your joy, protect your sanity in this country. Don't let nobody thief it. Protect it at all costs. Folks, you know what always freaks me out? And freaks me out in a good way is that I see people would share the live stream back to me. They share my old program back to me on WhatsApp. They share it back to me on Facebook. You guys are so thoughtful. What can we do without you? Guys, we trust you have had a great weekend and you are ready. You're ready for the wild hogs. There's plenty of them out there. Hope you guys are ready for the wild hogs this week. This week, folks, we gotta fight. We gotta fight. Great to see all of you guys. Great to see all of you guys. Folks, you know, if you make yourself happy in this life, nobody can make you happy. You know, if you depending on somebody else for your joy, your happiness, you know, your well-being, you're in trouble. Morna Monroe, you're in trouble. Lynn Fernandez, Amanda Daniels, Jasmine Henry, Dion, Ayana, Bibi, fancy name, Mark Doris, good to see you as well, Mark. Natasha Joseph, I see Tamara Isaacs, good to see Tamara. Christina Thom Peters watching us from New York, good to see you, Christina. I see Naomi Morris is with us as well. I see Raquel Bob, Onessa Wardeen, Donna Liverpool, come on down. Good to see you, Donna. Folks, I'm going to jump into the housekeeping and then I'm going to come back and we're going to give some other folks a shout out. But let's get it out of the way while you guys grab your popcorn, you grab your Cokes, whatever else you're going to bring to your hand reach this evening. Let me get to the housekeeping very quickly. We get that out of the way and then we get right into see what's happening with the fight card. Let's see what's in the fight card. What issues, what personalities, what events are in the fight card, folks. But first, let us turn our attention to our housekeeping. As you know, we have been asking you guys to partner with us, to come on board and partner with us, help to grow our program, help to expand our program, help us to do what we do here even better and even in a more professional way. That is our dream. That is our desire, that we can do this in a greater, bigger, fantastic way, because y'all big and y'all fantastic. And that is what y'all deserve. So folks, come on board and partner with us for as little as $5 a month to as high as $20 a month. Not 20,000, 20. $5, $10, 15, 20 US dollars would help our project here to go a far way, our expansion project, our building out project to go so far. On the Cash App platform, it's the $ in the ring 592. At the Cash App platform, it's the $ in the ring 592. At PayPal, it's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. Again, at PayPal, that's in the ring 592 at Gmail. We're also available on MMG. That's the Guyanese Cash App version, if I can put it in that way. The MMG system, it's 627-6963 is the phone number you'd need for that. 627-6963. And any queries that you have, you can contact us on that number as well. Folks, we're also available at MoneyGram and Western Union. MoneyGram and Western Union. And again, any queries you have, any issues you have, any stories you have, any tips you have, 627-6963, that MMG number. You can WhatsApp that number as well. And we'd be glad to give you guidance on any of your concerns. That aside, folks, that aside, I want to get right to the hot topics, folks. We got to get back to the hot topics, which is now the fight card. So let's see. I'm ready to see what's happening on the fight card this evening, guys. It's Pashray Monday, as you know, and we are ready. We are ready for this fight. We are so ready, guys. Let's see who else has joined us, folks. As you come on board, Ann John, you know you gotta share the live stream. Good to see you there, Ann. And Ann is asking me to give a shout out to Desiree Simmons. Desiree, good to see you there. Welcome, Desiree, and also Sally Rodriguez Satar. Good to see you, Sally, and all the other folks. Sally and Ann. Good to see you, Ann John. Good to see you, Sally Rodriguez Satar and Desiree Simon. Good to see you too, Abigail Othelene Passad. Abigail say, let's fight. Abigail say, let's fight. We're going to do just that. We're going to do just that. We got to fight, folks. We gotta fight. We gotta fight. Great to see each and every one of you. And guys, as you come on the live stream, we encourage you guys to share that live stream, whichever page you're joining us from, guys. We're asking you guys to like that page, to subscribe to it, to follow that page, whichever page you are joining us from this evening. Good to see you, Auntie Sandra Hanover, from all the way from Diamond. Good to see you, Patricia Asana, Roy Garraway, Lynette Zephyr. Lynette, how you doing? Good to see you as well. Rowena Cummins, good to see you, Rowena. I see also MP Ronald Cox is in the house. Let me play the fight bell just for MP Ronald Cox. Let's fight, folks. Let's fight. Great to see all of you. And folks, I want you all to get ready, because I know while we're contending with the issues in the ring, you guys are in the comments and you guys are posturing in the comments. And I don't want you all to let the trenches off by any means. You all fight them in the comments. Y'all know the facts. Y'all know the truth. Don't let the trenches get off with saying nonsense. God, y'all challenge them. Challenge them in the comments to the facts. Post those links to the facts in those comments. Don't let Raul Brando Ramatar and all the other folks, all the other jagabats, don't let them get away at all. So ringsiders, you got to assemble in the trenches, assemble in the comment section there, and you all dismantle them. Dismantle the trolls, dismantle the trenches, dismantle the crosses. Folks, I want to see those emojis as well. I want to see those emojis as well. I want to know how y'all feeling tonight. We got to see those emojis. So ringsiders, assemble in the trenches and let's get ready to go to war tonight with these jagabats. Great to see each and every one of you guys again. As you come on board, we invite you to share the live stream. Folks, again, I want my ringsiders in the trenches. Y'all don't let them go. Don't let them go. Dismantle their operation there in the trenches. Use all the heavy artillery in the trenches. Althea, or is Alithia Lord, good to see you there. Alithia, good to see you. Carol Carter and Rayon Norris, good to see you as well. Lily McGarrell, good to see all you wonderful folks there. Again, share the live stream, and I am ready to get right into see what's on the fight card. I know what's the fight card is, y'all. Guys, again, good to see each and every one of you. Great to see each and every one of you this evening, guys, and welcome in the ring. Welcome in the ring tonight. Whether you're joining us on Twitter, you're joining us on Facebook, Facebook, you're joining us on YouTube, around the world, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the ring. Welcome in the ring. Good to see you guys this evening. Great to see the folks there from Yeovil. I want to shout out Stacy Ward, my mother-in-law. I want to shout at my father-in-law as well. Good to see you guys tuned in there. Great to see you folks. All the other folks in Region 5, Region 6. Great to see you guys. The Narines from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Good to see you there as well. The Jerricks joining us from Connecticut. Good to see you guys as well. Those folks joining us from Brooklyn, New York. Great to see each and every one of you guys. Good to see all of you, each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. It's our privilege to have all of you guys in the ring. And let's get to the fight card. Let's get to the fight card, folks. We got to get to the fight card tonight. And we're ready to go. Folks, there's so much drama behind here now. So much drama. So much drama. Well, we got to get to the Wild Hogs. We got to get to the Wild Hogs, the trenches, the Jagabats, the Crosses, the Philistines, the Jebusites, the Hippocytes. All of them. Let's begin with the Wild Hogs this evening. Folks, so you guys know that Jagdio and their fun, by that hierarchy, they're out of the jurisdiction. They're out of the jurisdiction. And apparently when all else fails, you turn to God. Apparently when all else fails, you turn to God. So them fellas met with a bunch of pastors in the US. I think it's in Brooklyn. According to my notes, it's in Brooklyn. And one report says, or tried to have a narrative as though it was some pastors from the United States proper, some American pastors who have an interest in what's happening locally. That being said, we are made to understand that they are all Guyanese pastors, not to take away anything from the occasion by any means, not to take away anything. But it seems as though when you run out of all options, so when you try everything else, try Jesus. When you try everything else, and a lot of things going wrong here, they're trying a whole set of stuff. They're trying a whole set of stuff, and they're not getting any place, folks. They are not getting any place. But the good book tells us, we are ever learning. They are ever learning, but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. The good book tells us that. We don't mind, though. We don't mind. The closer y'all draw to God, some things might rub off, and God knows y'all. Plenty God in y'all. Plenty God in y'all. We don't want these things just to be a photo up, but they must have deep meaning, must resonate in your spirit and change your life. Change your lives. So that was what was happening there in Brooklyn, among other things. They met with these pastors. I hope them pastors lay hands on them and rub some olive oil on the fire and pray out them things. I hope they pray out them things, folks. That being said, talking about God and talking about a higher power, y'all don't know this woman. I spoke about her a couple nights ago, and at the height of the frenzy with the jingle, y'all remember that jingle that almost unseated this government? That jingle? Well, this woman is one of the persons who waded into the controversy. And I spoke about a letter she had written. And it didn't take long for God himself to deliver her into our hands. That's how the gods operate with the Philistines, you know. He delivers them into your hand. So, folks, this is one Reverend Pat Sheraton Bisnott. And she wrote a letter in defense of prayer. In that whole thing where that jingle was released, composed by Guyanese artists, some folks, that rhythm was very, very catchy there. And some folks took offense to it. It was part of a chant that the teachers union had when they protested the installed Minister of Education. And folks, again, I invite you guys as you come on board to share the live stream. So again, this is Reverend Pat Sheraton Bisnott, and she had quite a few things to say a few days ago, condemning what she called was a reprehensible attack. But that isn't the point. The point this evening is that she signed that letter. I saw this letter in Starbuck News, according to my notes. She signed this letter as a minister of the Ghana Presbyterian Church and as the chief executive officer, CEO, she got a big post, at the Caribbean Family Planning Affiliation. Again, minister of the Guyana Presbyterian Church as a minister. Well, somebody saw that letter and somebody wasn't having it. He wasn't having it at all, ladies and gentlemen. And his name is Thomas B. Singh. And he's a member of the Ghana Presbyterian Church. And here is what Thomas B. Singh said in a letter to the editor, counteracting this letter that Sheraton Bisnott wrote. He said, I note a letter in the columns of Friday Starbuck News, which purported a statement from the Guyana Presbyterian Church signed by Reverend Pat Sheraton Bisnott. Please be advised that Reverend Pat Sheraton Bisnott does not speak for the Guyana Presbyterian Church, does not speak for the Guyana Presbyterian Church. She has resigned from the GPC on May 24, 2018, and has since then not written to the GPC to even indicate that she is now available to serve as a minister. What she did do was to parachute into October 2019 meeting of the Demwara Presbytery, and the missive goes on. But again, a very stinging letter from a parishioner of the Guyana Presbyterian Church, Mr. Thomas B. Singh, saying that this woman who purports to be Reverend Pat Sheraton, it's not a minister with the Guyana Presbyterian Church and is not authorized to speak on their behalf. And we were very happy to see Reverend Sheraton enjoying some time on a beach, I think, in Antigua recently. Good for you. Maybe your suntan is going to improve. Go with God. Reverend Sheraton. Go with God. Moving on, folks. Lots happening where COVID-19 concerned. Lots are happening where COVID-19 is concerned, ladies and gentlemen. And again, as you guys join us, we want to see those shares. We want to see those emojis. Vanessa Calendar and Candy Empress Candy. Candy, I got you with that thing. Candy Empress Candy, I got you with the thing. Thanks, Candy. Leslie Benjamin and Shondell Griffith, Diane Fordyce, Paulette Hawker. Am I getting that right? The names are going by so fast. I gotta scroll up now to see Paulette Hawk Kippins. Good to see you there, Paulette. And Sukchan Sudhari, good to see you guys as well. Share the live stream as you come on board. Guys, let's turn attention very quickly to what's happening on the COVID front. And that again is between Priya and Frank. All hell is breaking loose on the COVID front. Guys, COVID is running rampage through our school system. And since we had all of those schools listed on Friday, they perhaps have increased by 10 since that time. Lots of schools that opened on September 6th are now closed because either teachers are coming down with COVID-19 or students are coming down with COVID-19. And that is just a microcosm, if you want to call it that, on what's happening on a national scale. As a matter of fact, a part of our reporting this evening suggests some information we picked up out of the news source that every ward in Georgetown right now is affected by COVID-19. Every ward. And Georgetown, as you know, is the national capital city. So that bit of reporting coming out of news source seems to suggest that at least the capital is being overrun by COVID-19. We also see that the Minister of Health asking for clarity. He said he don't understand something that the CDC would have said. He and understand the Center for Disease Control issued a statement over the weekend. He said he don't understand, like it's high science. You know, there's a pattern with this PPP. Priya in a press conference quite recently asked a question on law. She didn't study for that. She didn't study for that particular question. Refer to the AG. And then we saw Jagdio recently. He was asked a question at his last press conference about some decision that was taken at cabinet. He said, I don't go cabinet study. So Frank don't understand. Simply the CDC was saying there are some drugs that they do not recognize, some COVID vaccines that they don't recognize internationally. For instance, like Sputnik V. They don't recognize that. And so if you took Sputnik V, then you have to wait a few weeks and take one of the drugs that they recognize, the CDC. Frank said he don't understand. He want clarity. Frank said he want clarity. And this is stuff that we are seeing on a daily basis. COVID is getting out of hand. Again, just today, Frank says that he's seeing in the indigenous community a pervasive spread of COVID-19. A pervasive spread of COVID-19. And he's recommending more testing. You mean y'all could do more testing and y'all and doing more testing? He's recommending more testing for hinterland communities. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, just today, we recorded 8 additional related COVID-19 deaths. 8. So again, the thing is out of hand. The thing is out of hand. And that being said, also on the COVID front, this is what we saw just today, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all remember Irfan Ali, same fellow, turning to God, asked for the COVID-19 cash grant to be audited. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember Irfan asking for the COVID cash grant to be audited? Well, the Auditor General told us today. The Auditor General told us today, ladies and gentlemen, that the COVID cash grant, the handouts, cannot be audited. Why? Because of COVID. That's what he told us. COVID preventing the COVID cash grant audit. I guess if you have to find an excuse, if you had to find an excuse, that would be a good one. You know, if APNU AFC went in power, them cash grants are auditing. You all understand what is happening there. So we ain't buying that. But I guess if you have to find an excuse, Any excuse would suffice. So COVID preventing the audit of the COVID cash grant distribution. Again, it's not a real place. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Folks are still being locked out. Folks are still being locked out. And today, just to give you a snapshot, we saw some places where people are being locked out. Teachers are being locked out. This is Linden. Teachers are being locked out. Yep. Teachers are being locked out because they refuse to take the vaccine. Their constitutional right. And the government said they don't have a mandatory vaccination policy. So that was Linden. We also see at Port Kaituma, folks are being locked out. At Port Kaituma. Yep. Folks, that being said, Gail Teixeira said, I do today. She said, I do. She took the vows. No, folks, she didn't get married. In actuality, she said, I will. Just to be accurate. She said, I will. Gail is now acting prime minister. Gail is now acting prime minister. And the information that we have suggests that Gail would be the oldest acting prime minister that we've ever had. The oldest acting prime minister we've ever had, which would put her somewhere around 90. Folks, when I was 13 years, Gail went to Parliament, 1992. 94 rather. I was 13. Gail said, I will today. Of course, taking charge now as Prime Minister. And finally, the Prime Minister will have work to do. Because we know Gail is doing the work all the time. We know it was Gail doing the work all the time. We know that. We wish her the best of luck. We ain't gonna say nothing but the pantsuit. I promise you. We ain't say nothing but the pantsuit. There's a lot that could be said. But we ain't say nothing. I will not say Gail is attempting to look like Hillary Clinton. I will not say that. I might be tempted to say it. I will not say it. I will not say this pantsuit look a little too big for Gail. That she business. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say Gail here look a little fancy today because it's a special day, but the other days you just don't know. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it. I could say it, but I am not going to say it. Folks, what I want to turn your attention to next, I want you all to pay attention very, very clearly. My guest, I think, is standing by. I want you all to play. Yes, my guest is standing by in the green room. I want you all to pay careful attention and share the live stream. I'm going to go through this very, very quickly for you. Very, very quickly. You guys know that quite recently there was a strike. There was a strike at Albion. Cane cutter strike. Them guys said COVID make the can work, but they can't take cutting pay right now. Things tight. That is what them boys say. Things tight. And so it caused a lot of people to wonder what happened to the teachers and their demands recently. And what happened to the public servants and their demands recently. Folks, I want to show you some uneven developments taking place in our country. Inequity, which gives you an insight into the real PPP. Folks, y'all better share this live stream. So let us start very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, with what happened when the frontline workers protested in September of 2020. The Jagabas had just come to office. Look what happened. So there was the protest in September. Ali started to downplay what was happening. Yep, that is what they did. They started to downplay what was happening with the frontline workers protest. As a matter of fact, during that time, ladies and gentlemen, the frontline workers were complaining. They were asking, why is it that so much money going to Gaisuku and they can't get, a raise of pay? They can't get risk allowance. They can't get so many other things, ladies and gentlemen. And here is what the installed Irfan Ali said at that time. Here's what he said.
They're saying that we're spending $5 billion on the investigation for their actions. Where was the solidarity? Where was the solidarity when more than 7,000 sugar workers were sent home? What was the situation then? What was the situation then?
Are you on strike? That's what the man said. Where was the solidarity with the sugar workers when they were sent home? Did the nurses say anything? Y'all want protective equipment and risk allowance now? Where was the solidarity? That is what the man said. That being said, because of pressure that the union brought to bear, they ended up giving the frontline workers $200,000. Apologies there. They ended up giving them 2 weeks bonus. They ended up giving them 2 weeks bonus. I want to move on from there to show you what happened with the teacher strike. Let me show you very quickly, folks, what happened with the teacher strike recently. So on September 6th, the Guyana Teachers Union striked. Right? It was called on September 7th to be accurate. By September 13th, ladies and gentlemen, we saw that the ministry was saying, rather, by September 8th, we saw the ministry was saying that the strike was uncaring and unconscionable. The installed Minister of Education said that the strike was uncaring and unconscionable. We saw the Minister of Labor, the installed Minister of Labor, Joe Hamilton, he said the strike was illegal. There was no basis for it. This is the teachers' union strike. And then we saw quite recently that teachers' union strike was suspended so that the union can engage with the ministry. Right? And the minister even went on to say that she is not engaging any political union. That's what she said. She is not engaging any political union. That's what she said. And so, thus far, we haven't seen any real returns from that teacher's strike as yet. We haven't seen any real returns from that teacher's strike. But ladies and gentlemen, look what has transpired with sugar. Look what has transpired with Gaisuku. I'm moving very fast for you guys this evening. Look what has transpired with Gaisuku and sugar. So we know this, ladies and gentlemen. We know this. In March 2021, going very quickly for you folks, sugar workers received thousands of dollars as their weekly production incentive, the WPI. March 2021. March 2021. This is just this year. They received that as a bonus, their weekly production incentive, the WPI. By April, not contented, we saw sugar workers strike in April of this year. Right? The Minister of Agriculture, the installed Zulfikar Mustafa, he said there was no wage increase promised to sugar workers. No wage increase promised to sugar workers. 2 days later, Jagdeo stepped in and approved $200 million for sugar workers as a one-off payment. April this year. So they got money in March. They got $200 million in April. And by September was another strike. This is this very month. Albion workers strike for relief. One news headline read, as flood losses take bite out of their earnings. Another headline said, Albion sugar workers burnt debris, block roads, and protest for better wages. And just yesterday, we saw that Gawu and Gaisuku reached deal on Albion cane cutters. So some people strike. Some people strike and they get through. Some other people, not so much. But folks, it doesn't end there. It does not end there. Let us see what this installed regime has given to Gaisuku since they came to office. Let us see what they've given to Gaisuku on top of the money they have given to sugar workers. On top of the money they have given to sugar workers. Let's take a look at that very quickly. And so from the September, well, since they came in, August 2020, They give the sugar industry 600 million. They give Gaisuko a bailout, 600 million. And then in the budget of September of 2020, that big budget, 329.5 billion budget, they give Gaisuko $5 billion. They give Gaisuko $5 billion. And then they came back in December of 2020 for a supplementary budget of 17.4 billion, of which they give Gaisuko 4 billion. 5 and 4 is 9. And then in the 2021 budget, what do they do? What did they do? They give Gaisuko of the 383.1 billion for the national budget, they give Gaisuko 2. They came back in June of this very year for a supplementary budget of 21.3 billion, of which they give Gaisuko 1.5. So 9 and 2 is 11, and 1 is 12. $12.5 billion has gone to Gaisuko already for capital works, on top of the money you strike and you get. On top of the money you strike and you get. Folks, y'all better share this live stream. Y'all better share this live stream. We told y'all in the ring, we do our homework here. And let me show you what they have done nationally. Remember, we've had 2 budgets, as I've showed you there. September of 2020, and we had one in February of 2021. Big budgets. Big budgets. Look what happened. For that September budget in 2020, there was no increase for public servants. No increase for public servants, even though the Public Service Ministry got $2 billion. There was no increase for public servants. And in that February budget of this very year, again, there was no announced increase for public servants. No announced increase, even though Jack Dio said in line item 6141, there was a $10 billion for revision of wages and salaries, and there was an increase for public servants in that. To date, there has been no increase for public servants. You know what they told us recently? In August, early August, they said there's a retroactive increase coming sometime before December. Sometime before December. Right? We want increased wages for our sugar workers, but we want increased wages across the board for all Guyanese workers. Whether you're in the private sector, we see where that minimum wage is staggering, and whether you're in the public sector, no increase for the last 2 budgets. And so people are asking, what is happening? And finally, before I have my guest on, we see a silliness that is happening as well. We see a stupidness that is happening. You got Coretta McDonald in the GTU, and I see people saying that Coretta should resign because you shouldn't be in a union and a member of parliament, a politician at the same time. You shouldn't be in a union and a politician at the same time. But the PPP got C-Paul Narayan, who's the president of GAU. The president of GAU, the Guyana Agricultural Workers Union. He's a member of parliament. He's a politician. Why isn't anybody asking for C-Paul to resign? You see the double standards in this country? Y'all see the double standards in this place. That is what we have happening. So my encouragement to Coretta, stay put. When C-Paul resign, you could contemplate political double standards. That is what you have occurring. And ladies and gentlemen, for the main event tonight, for the main event this evening, I want to turn our attention back to that shooting of Mr. Orrin Boston. We ain't letting it go like that. We ain't having it. I want to direct your attention back to that shooting, that heinous murder of Orrin Boston. And for that this evening, I would like to welcome, for the main event, my friend, my brother from another mother, my colleague, Mr. Richford Burke, for the main event. Richford, a very good evening, sir.
Good night, sir. Good night. Thank you for having me. Good night to you, listeners.
Good to see you, Richford. We got to fight, Richford. We got to fight.
We got to fight. I'm ready.
We got to fight, sir. To fight. Good to see you, Richford. Great to see you. Now, I saw a lot happening over the weekend. I saw a lot happening over the weekend. I saw the police force coming after you.
That's fine.
You put out some statements, you know, against what has happened here with this gentleman, the murder of Oren Boston in his home. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that. So you would have put out a statement, and then the police force came to the defense, Rickford. They came to the defense of their own Mr. Hickens, Clifton Hicken. They came to the defense of Mr. Hicken, and part of that statement, they said that you were trying to sully his character. You seem to have been talking to some folks, Rickford, and you were hearing a lot of stuff. I know you got a lot of senior friends here. You got a lot of senior friends on the ground here. You got a lot of senior friends in the police force as well, Rickford. What have you been hearing as concerns the murder of Oren Boston and the use of the SWAT team there?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and good night to all of your listeners. My information from members of the Guyana Police Force is that they're completely disgusted with what happened and about the continuous misuse of the SWAT team. That's the first thing. The second thing is that they said the SWAT team was dispatched to Essequibo by the person performing the duties of the Deputy Police Commissioner for operations. And that's Mr. Clifton Hicken. I fail to see how an operation like that could be executed without the approval of the Deputy Commissioner, as they said, DCP operations. So I believe my sources, and my sources aren't just regular police officers. These are senior police officers who are talking with me. The second thing is that there's a set of senior officers who believe that Mr. Hicken is incompetent and that he's a spy and a snitch, a plant by the police, by the PPP government in the Guyana Police Force, and that he has been doing the bidding of the Guyana Police Force, that he has been very disrespectful to the police commissioner, that he has been undermining the police commissioner, that he has been running a separate police force, him along with Brutus and the crime chief, and have completely isolated the police commissioner. So with regard to this particular operation, I understand that Hicken also, after the shooting, after a so-called debrief of these officers, and debrief in this context means after the plan to cover it up, authorized a statement to be released by the Public Relations Department that says Mr. Oren Boston was engaged in some sort of confrontation, struggle, or confrontation or altercation with with these SWAT team members as they were about to enter his house. We know that that's not true. I personally spoke with Attorney Nigel Hughes, who's represented the family, and then Nigel, subsequently to his conversation with me, issued a statement. And now we've known through video testimony of his wife and his daughter that they just kicked in this man's home. They they detained his daughter, placed her outside of the home. That alone gives you an indication that they were about to engage in violence. Then they kicked in his bedroom door and shot him while he was sleeping next to his wife. Now, they had no warrant. They had no reason at all to go in his home, much less to invade the home in that way. And they went there to kill him. They were dispatched specifically, based on my information, to kill him. And that's what they did. And what makes it more egregious, Sharad, they then dragged his body out from on his bed, straight out into outside of the door, and placed his body on a concrete and left him there to bleed to death while they continued to ransack his house. Now, nothing illegal was found, and even if anything illegal was found, it's an unlawful search. I don't know what these people are doing to kill this man, and there must be accountability. They're complaining that people are protesting. They're calling it rioting. Every time Black people protest, it's a riot. They have a right to protest. They have a right to block the street. They have a right to demand accountability. And I'm encouraging the people of Dartmouth not to stop protesting, not to stop blocking the road, not to stop doing what they're doing, not to stop demanding accountability until people are held accountable, until people go to jail. And when I say people are held accountable, I'm the decision makers at police headquarters, straight down to the SWAT team on the ground who executed this man. Sharon, I'm not hearing you.
Apologies there. I want to go back to something you mentioned early on. You talked about two differing reports, two differing accounts. There's a police account that says there was a struggle between law enforcement officers and Mr. Boston. And then his wife said that nothing like that happened. He was awoken in his bed, shot in his bed, and died in his bed. Recently, over the weekend as well, there was another incident where a young man lost his life on a motorcycle. The police said that he came in contact with another vehicle. Subsequently, there was police force footage that shows the police force vehicle that he came into contact with. Why are we seeing all of this different reporting or reports in terms of how the police are conducting themselves? What is happening from what you are hearing, Richford, in the Ghana police force currently?
Well, what is happening is that the PNP government has given the police carte blanche authority to kill Black people, to kill African Guyanese, African Guyanese, to kill who they perceive to be their political enemies. And when they do it, they get away with it. And my contention is, unless something seriously happens, until citizens start to meet the police back with force, and I'm not encouraging it, but at some point in time, if the police force under the PUP always kills African Guyanese, and they get away with it. And I'm saying the people of Guyana must demand justice. The justice system in Guyana favors the PPP. The criminal justice system, they run it. And they're running the Guyana police force. And I want to make it very clear tonight. If there's no justice from the government, there's no accountability when police officers kill people and kill Black people in specific. And when their death squads have gone out there and killed people in the past, the Guyana police, the PPP government, this installed racist apartheid regime, from the time they were in government in 1992 to 2015, they've always allowed the police officers who engage in killing Black people to get away with it. And I'm saying to Guyanese, don't allow it to happen. If the international community is allowing them to get away with it, if the ABC ambassadors, who are racist themselves, are allowing the police force to get away with it and they're not condemning the human rights violations, then the people of Guyana must take justice into their own hands and demand accountability. Demand accountability, demand justice. Even if they have to effect citizens' arrest of these police officers, do it until the government can ensure that there's justice when police officers or rogue police officer, death squad members of the police force kill Black people. The people must ensure justice. That's my contention.
Richford, in all that you have said, there seems to be some truth there. That lengthy statement again that was issued by the police force. Yog Mahadio responding to it, he said, while not getting into the dispute between the GPF and another, the police force statement is a far cry from the truth in a few accounts. He says, don't laugh. This is serious. In another part of his statement, he said, it affects all of us and our future after a catastrophic and shameful past.
Yes, and you know what? The fact that these people have the audacity to kill this young man and issue a mendacious statement, lie about it, lie that they rushed him to the hospital to receive medical attention, lie that there was a confrontation, and get away with it. And Sherrod, not one minister of the government, not the president, not the prime minister, not any of the Black ministers, not any of the human beings in this government have said one word. They don't care. They don't care. You know why? Because they see the police force as executing their enemies. They want to encourage it. They want to make sure that people are intimidated and scared of the Guyana police force. And that's why I think the people must fight back against the Guyana police force. I am not advocating violence, but I am saying there's a time and place in a nation when people's human rights are being trampled upon, when people are being abused, when law enforcement commit excesses and the government encourages it, just like we see in the Arab Spring countries, just like we see in Algeria now, just like we see in Belarus. That's the reaction the people of Guyana must have. I don't understand why they're so passive and are allowing the police force to kill out citizens in the society just like that with no reaction. It is time the people of Guyana wake up and fight back against these injustices.
Very well. Rickford, and with that, over the weekend, the Alliance for Change had a press conference, and they were contending with the way in which the SWAT team operated. It seems as though nobody in the police force knows who ordered the SWAT team to go to this house and to behave in the murderous manner in which they behave. It seemed mind-boggling. This is not a police force with 50,000 policemen and a SWAT team of 20,000. It's 12 men, including, they said, a senior officer who went as part of that SWAT team. And almost a week, 2 weeks later, we are yet to hear who gave the order. Why is it proving so difficult for such a small police force as ours to get to the bottom of this matter very, very quickly, expeditiously? Why is that?
Well, they don't want to be held accountable, and they're lying. The leadership of the Guyana Police Force have no credibility. Everybody in Guyana currently on the investigation. All of them have committed, based on the Police Service Commission, have committed infractions. Yet the Guyana, this installed regime placed them in the leadership of the force because they know that they will do their bidding. And they're already on the investigation, so they have that hanging over their head. And so they will do whatever they direct them to do. I understand the Attorney General gives them instructions directly. The Minister of Home Affairs, Bar Jagdeo, or finale. So it's everybody giving them instructions. And I understand nobody goes through the police commissioner. So you have these guys who think they're all gods unto themselves in the Guyana Police Force. And second, they're all lying. Now, after the police issued its statement denying that it was Hicken who instructed or directed or deployed the SWAT team to Esquivel, a member of the Guyana Police Force sent me a clip of Hicken at a press conference, in an interview with Gordon Mosley, acknowledging that he is aware that the SWAT team was deployed. Now, he didn't say he instructed it. He said he was aware. He is the only person in the leadership of the police force who said that they were aware of the operation, of the operations of the SWAT team in Essequibo. The police commissioner didn't say whether or not he knows. The crime chief said he didn't know. And Hicken is the only one who's saying that he knew. Plus, he is the deputy police commissioner, DCP operations. An operation like that in the Guyana Police Force cannot go ahead without his either approval or involvement, or in a collective decision-making that includes him. The other thing is that I was told by senior members of the police force that Hicken himself dismantled, in a way, the trained original SWAT team of the Guyana Police Force and sent these people off to various offices of the president, various ministries and ministers' homes after they were so highly trained, and the police force invested so much money in them to train them. And he dismantled them, and he sent his own people. The other thing I understand is that he has allegedly some sort of property on the East Bank where these people are being so-called trained either at his property or very close to his property or adjacent to his property. Now, why is this so? Does he think he owns the police force or he owns the SWAT team? And in addition to that, senior police force members told me that they're very concerned that he has these SWAT team members in heavily tinted buses and other vehicles traveling all over Georgetown and around Guyana on patrol. Now, that's not the proper use of a SWAT team. A SWAT team is a tactical force that is supposed to be deployed in situations where where they anticipate or there is extreme violence and there is a threat to public safety. That's not the purpose of the SWAT team that they use it for in Esquibo. And that's why they don't want to say who authorized it. My understanding, lastly, Sherrod, my understanding is that PPP supporters in Esquibo had complained to the president of Guyana about alleged noise nuisance and other things that this businessman allegedly was involved in, and that's why they executed him. And there must be accountability. I don't trust the Guyana Police Force. I joined with all those who are calling for an international inquiry. The Guyana Force disqualified themselves from the time they issued a mendacious, dishonest, false statement.
Very well said, Rickford. Before I go on to the other point, I want to let our viewers share our live stream. We want folks around the world to get this information. So take a minute and share. We want to see those emojis as well, folks. Ringsiders, we want to see those emojis. We want to see those shares. We got to get this information out there. Richford, I want to pick up on that last statement. You talked about what is happening with the hierarchy of the police force. You talked about what might be even happening in government. And picking up on what the AFC said in that press conference over the weekend, there was a stinging editorial in Starbuck News. And I want to get your reaction to an aspect of it. The editorial says part of what the AFC said is a more disturbing claim to make, and that was the police headquarters was unaware of the deployment of the SWAT team. As such, as their statement said, this suggests political interference. This is Starbuck News editorial. This suggests political interference in the operations of the GPF. If true, it will account for the utter silence from the government, despite the fact that only recently President Irfan Ali handed over 50 vehicles to the police force and spoke glibly about the strengthening of it and issuing body cameras, among other things, to its members. Your reaction?
Well, first of all, Starbuck News has lost all its credibility. The only reason they're issuing this statement is because the human rights violation of the violation of Mr. Boston's human rights is so egregious, and Starbuck News, which is part of the ethnic press that has been suppressing criticism or suppressing any exposure of the racist policies and practices of this government, they see a problem down the road. They see an explosion coming. The African Guyanese population is going to explode if the government the police force continues to go in the direction of another attempted genocide of the young black men. And so Starbuck News is blowing the whistle. Now, they're correct. The government is silent. The reason the government is silent, as I said before, is one, they approved this thing. That instruction came somewhere from between Office of the President, including Jack Day, and somewhere between Robeson Ben and Clifford Hicken. And like I said before, they allegedly gave him directions directly. The other thing is Mr. Hicken has such a nasty, sordid record of allegedly killing people or involved in shootings. He was the commanding officer on the ground at the time three of the Linden protesters were shot and killed. 3 Afro-Guyanese citizens were shot and killed. He denied that he gave the instructions. You're the commanding officer on the ground. How can people shoot without you knowing? So that's number one. Number two, a senior police officer told me over the weekend that he was allegedly involved in the shooting as well of 3 unarmed young men, former members of the Guyana Defense Force, who they alleged were pirates at the Beach foreshore. And even though they surrendered, they shot and killed all of them, including a police officer. And they claimed that it was the pirates that shot the police officer. But when the post-mortem was done, it showed that it's the same gun shows that it was a police gun that killed the police officer. And now we have allegedly Hickens again involved in authorizing the SWAT team to go to Escribo to kill this businessman. Now, I have a problem with the way the Guyana Police Force does its business. But secondly, I have a problem with the way the Guyana government, this PP government, condones these kinds of killings of Black people, and we should not hide it. If this was Harun Singh or Ajay Paul Siram or somebody Kisoon, the Guyana government would have been issuing all sorts of statements of condemnation. But they're silent because it's an Afro-Guyanese member of society.
Utter silence, according to Starbuck News. Utter silence.
Right. And Starbuck News alone, and Starbuck News, their own support base is acknowledging they're silent. And it's disgraceful, it's inhumane. And Sharad, what is striking too is that it's the diplomatic community, those racist white ambassadors, including the racist US ambassador, who condone this type of nonsense with their silence. Their silence is complicity. You would think if this was under the APNU AFC government, something so egregious happened, they would have said something. All of these violations and egregious atrocities are happening under the PPP, but because they install the PPP, right, they support what the government is doing, they're silent as well. And I want to see the posture of this diplomatic corps when people in the country start to really react aggressively to this government. What they will do, I want to see the posture of the diplomatic community when people start striking back at police officers who kill people. because they're not getting any justice. We want to see what they will say. I want to see what they will say now that we are being more affirmative and say, listen, if you can't get justice, the people of Guyana must find a way to demand justice, either by shutting the country down, either by blocking the streets, continue to protest. I posted a picture of the people in Algeria today. Everybody in the country has done tools. Businesses, schools, police officers, army officers, public servants, private sector workers, everybody, all of the people in the country dumped tools today, and they are protesting and demanding the removal of the government. I hope that the people of Guyana get inspiration from the people of Algeria, Sharon.
Richford, I wanna quote perhaps the last bit from this editorial over the weekend here, because it made my skin crawl when I read it. And you know, folks, what story here? As you all share this live stream, as you all tag a friend, share it to your profile, your page, share it to a friend's page, share it to WhatsApp. We want to see those emojis. What story here, Richford? Starbuck News, again, says the problem for the PPPC is that it has a bad record where interfering with the police force is concerned, as well as with its tolerance for extrajudicial killings by the Target Special Squad, especially, which it demonstrated great reluctance to disband. This is Starbuck News. Then there were the unholy alliances between elements in the police and drug squads after the 2002 prison breakout. The fears are that the new security squad, this is the regional security teams, the new security squad, which it will be setting up ostensibly under the auspices of the army, will be another vehicle for government policing outside of the purview of senior members of the Guyana Police Force. This is Starbuck News, 2021, Guyana, PPP back.
Sharon, it is the Starbuck News saying exactly what CGID has said. It's the Starbuck News saying exactly what I have said, because that's what senior police officers have said to me. What they're doing excuse me, is that they're setting up this squad, and what they're doing, even though this, by the way, the squad is already operating. I know people who are in the squad patrolling right now under that regional security force. People from the army, people from the police. I know them personally. And listen, what senior police officers have said to me is that they have set up the squad. They went to Parliament and voted after they set up the squad. And people don't know under what law this squad is operating. But what is more concerning to members of the Guyana Police Force is that these same so-called dead squad members who still exist, they're making them supernumerary constables in the Guyana Police Force, and them assigning them to this regional security force, which they're now deploying to all of the regions. And what it is they're doing is they're monitoring people's activities. They're monitoring people's phone calls. They're monitoring all of these people who they consider to be enemies of the state. That's what they're doing. And then they're targeting them and kill them. And that's exactly what they did with the death squads under their government from 1992 to 2005. My word to the people of Guyana is, do not allow this to happen. Do not allow this to happen. Shut down the country. Shut down the government. No government is more powerful than the people. None, even in Russia. No government is more powerful than the people. Don't allow the PP government to commit another pogrom in Guyana, an attempted genocide. Up to now, Sharad, there has been no justice for the people that were killed under Barrack Jagdev's presidency. And the reason they can operate like that now is because there's no justice. There's no way people in this government who were involved in those activities should even be able to feel safe to venture into the public.
Yeah.
No way. They killed people, hundreds of people, thousands of people, and are walking around with their chests puffed up and driving in government vehicles, feeling safe and secured, being protected by the taxpayers' dollars, when they're criminals, they're murderers who should face justice. And one of the things that I will do, like I said, we're planning, along with some of the US government officials, for a White House briefing and for a meeting with members of the State Department and our members of Congress in Washington. And that's one of the things we'll push. We'll push for an investigation of what is happening in Guyana now. We'll push for an investigation of this murder, and we'll push for an investigation of the extrajudicial killings on the Barjack bill.
Richford, I dealt with part of the economic inequalities early on, just looking at a fraction of it with what's happening with Gaisuku. We're talking about the social inequality and how life of one section of our society seems to be very, very cheap. You see, almost as if the sugar workers got, as you said earlier, a carte blanche approach to strike, do anything, block any road, burn tires, do whatever you want to do, strike. When teachers strike, oh, they are heartless, they are uncaring. Right? Teachers just strike and got nothing. Gaisuku workers just strike, the hands full. What is happening in our country, Richford? What is happening to the Guyana of the last 5 years? What is happening to our beloved country?
Well, what has been happening from since the PPP was in government, especially on the Barjack Day, what they did is try to break up every union that have majority Black members and who are seen or perceived to be anti-government. So they did the same thing with the Guyana Trade Unions Congress. They did the same thing with the GLU, and now they're trying the same thing with the Guyana Teachers Union. However, the Guyana Teachers Union is a very powerful union, and it's multi-ethnic and multiracial. I see them attacking the union, and Sherry, the reason these things happen is because we allow it to happen. We allow it to happen. They divide us, and then they try to conquer us. And that's what they're doing with the union. If all of the teachers hold one head and support their unions, they can't get away with it. And I see what they're taking away responsibilities from the Guyana Teachers Union. I bet you the next thing they will do is try to stop the deduction of union dues through the Ministry of Finance. And to try to break the union. That's what they always do. They're being advised by Republicans. They're racist. They believe that Black people should be second-class citizens. They believe that there should be no Black businesses in Guyana. They believe that Black people should not be involved in the oil and gas sector. They believe that Black people shouldn't get loans. They believe that we should be impoverished slaves. And if they get their way now, it's going to happen. You talk about inequity. Have you seen any Black business person, contractor, or anybody that the government has engaged and given a contract to in the oil and gas industry? Absolutely not. None. In fact, they're taking away contracts that the former administration gave to Black contractors. They're trying to dismantle Black businesses. As we speak, there are a lot of revelations coming forth now with regard to how they took away the license of a Black-owned business, SBF International, which is a fuel company. And now we see that they tried to take over the company, where members of the PP government sent a message to the owner and said to him, we want to take over 80% of your company. And if you can't, we're going to cancel the license. If you don't, we're going to cancel the license. And the license has been canceled. Now some politicians here, I noticed 7 politicians in Georgia are questioning it. I see letters have been sent to the members of Congress with regard to that. It's concrete proof exactly what we said at the rally when you were here, Sharon. They're practicing racism. It's an apartheid government. They don't want to see Black businesses. And look what they're doing. They want to take away Sivon's business. They want to take away Cartier's business. And Nanlal has said to the people in Berbice, go and take the lands of these people, lands that are owned by Afro-Guyanese, and take it. Go and break down the fence and take it. They're trying to start a war in the country because I don't think Afro-Guyanese would allow them to degrade us to second-class citizens, allow them to destroy our businesses, allow them to take away our homes and our lands, or allow them to take away our properties. I don't understand what's the thinking of the PPP. I know that they're being advised by the Trump political advisors, but we want to tell them that Guyana is no Trump land. And, one of the things a politician here said to me, similar to what a politician from Jamaica said to me, why do we allow these guys to live in the country whenever they're not in power? Why do we allow them to live there after they committed so much crimes, kill people? Why are they not in jail? And I think seriously, we have to start considering the system of sending people into exile, run them out of the country. These people, this crop of PP government here, these people, this cabal here, should not be allowed to live in Guyana when they come out to power. Let them go and live in the Middle East or Pakistan.
Yeah. Very well, Richford. Richford, finally, having said all of that, the wife of her in Boston over this weekend, Mrs. Fiona Boston, she says she wants the killer jailed. She said it's not easy seeing my daughter who witnessed everything. She says she wants to see the killer behind bars. This is an account according to Village Voice, and folks should buy that paper over the weekend. Richford, will she ever get justice? The police talked about leaving no stone unturned. They talked about that for the Henry boys and Harris Singh. Will she ever get justice?
No. I am afraid that nothing will come out of this investigation. I said the same thing with the Henry boys. Listen, the government knows why this team was deployed to Essequibo. They went there that night to kill Mr. Boston, and my heart goes out to his wife and his family. These people are heartless. This government, the PP, is a heartless party. They have not even expressed condolences to this woman. This woman has to bury her husband. Her child is left without a father. And no one in this government, not even the prime minister, not even any of the black ministers, right, have the decency, have the humanity to reach out to this family and express condolences. You're not sanctioning anything. You're not taking anybody's side. It is a human, decent, moral thing to do, which is to express condolences to people who've died. That's the part of the responsibility of public office, of public officials. And the fact that they can be so callous. Oh, yeah. They kill a PNC man in Boston. By shooting up. That's their conversation, I understand, in one corner of Georgetown. That was their conversation. They're dogs. These people in this PP government are worse than dogs. They killed this man. They did not even reach out. They send the police commissioner. Yeah, he's a black man. He go. He's a black guy. There he go. And send him. Not one word from the government about this killing. But they can talk about the ministry. The Ministry of Home Affairs issue a statement saying, oh, they want them to desist from protesting.
Yeah.
That's so. But once again, I want to express my condolences on behalf of CGID, on behalf of Gore, on behalf of all the leaders in the diaspora. We send our condolences, our deep sympathy and regret for the death of Mr. Boston, and we recognize his humanity. We recognize that he's a human being. We recognize that this should not have happened. We want to apologize to them on behalf of the Guyanese diaspora that they have to go through this suffering. And we want to say to them that we stand with them and we will fight for justice alongside them. We will fight for justice.
Yeah, very well, very well. Richford, I want to thank you for spending this time with us this evening. I know you're a busy fella, and I really want to thank you for taking some time out of your schedule and to bring some clarity to this matter from your end. I think that diaspora perspective.
Can I say something? Can I say something finally? So the installed president and the installed vice president, they're in New York. And two things. First of all, they invited some Afro-Guyanese, because, they like to take pictures to show that they like black people so much. They invited some Afro-Guyanese people to come and Guyanese nationals to come meet with them at the UN. But hear what? These are people we've never known. We've never seen them anywhere in the diaspora. And they had a secret meeting. They claim that some of these people are from Brooklyn. We've never seen them. But hear what? We understand that they paid them. They give them incentives to come meet with Jack. Wow. And second, I understand they have a second meeting coming up sometime, either Wednesday or Thursday. And they told the people they're scared of Richford Burke and Gore and CGID, so they can't disclose the location of the meeting. They will pick them up and take them to the meeting. So they intend to kidnap these people from the diaspora to meet with Jack.
But Richford, we understand photo ops when we see them. They had a big thing here for people from the diaspora. They want to engage for development. And then when Rainford starts running behind them, he realizes nothing but talks and empty shell. It's a lot of talks, photo ops.
Well, Rainford has to understand that he has to know his place. He's black. These development projects are not for him. They're not for black people. Photo ops are really for black people. That's the PP's policy.
Yeah. Song and fury, but symbolizing nothing. Thanks very much, Richford.
Thank you for having me. Good night to your listeners. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks, my brother. Folks, and there you have it. Richford Burke, the president of CGID, the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy. They're based in Brooklyn, New York, and have a lot of chapters other places. And always a privilege of having Richford in the ring. Again, it's so important for us to have that wide view out there of what is happening. Sometimes we get bogged down in the minutia, but to have that broad sweep of their take of what's happening locally is tremendously important. Tremendously important. Folks, I want to thank all of you guys for joining us this evening. Thank all of you guys for joining us this evening. And we cannot underscore what we say every night as we sign off. We cannot underscore, folks. We got to keep fighting. 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 We got to keep fighting COVID as well. And so as we go, we want to advise you guys to continue to social distance, continue to wear your mask, continue to sanitize, continue to practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety, that of your friends, family, and loved ones. And as you know, I'm going to stick around, give a shout out to some other folks just after my housekeeping. And you guys know by now that we're inviting each and every one of you. And don't say somebody else is going to give it my place. Duncan them must get a whole set of money now. They can own Isle Field and Isle Black and so on. Far from it. We want you guys to come on board and help us to build this program even bigger and even better by partnering with us on a monthly basis, 5, 10, 15, 20 US dollars. You can go more than that if you want to. We're available on the Cash App platform. It's $, in the ring 592. It's $, in the ring 592. That's at Cash App. At PayPal, it's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. In the ring 592 at gmail.com. And we have our local Cash App. That is the MMG system, the Guyanese Cash App. And you can get us at 627-6963, 627-6963. Any queries you have a information tip, you have some news, you have some video, you have some photographs, you can WhatsApp us at that number as well, 627-6963. It's our MMG number too, and we're available on these old school platforms like Western Union, like MoneyGram. Folks, thanks for partnering with us. And for those of you who are already on board with us, we thank you guys. We thank you guys from the bottom of our heart. We thank you guys. Thanks for joining us, guys. You are free if you have to go on to other places, other shows, you're heading to work, you're heading home from work. You are free to go, folks. We're going to stick around and give some shout outs to some other folks just before we leave. Good to see each and every one of you again. And thanks for joining us in the ring. We got to fight, folks. We got to fight. We got to fight. Again, let me give some shout out to a few folks who are still with us. And why don't I start with, let me see. Give me a second to get my bearings here. And let me give some folks a shout out. Give you guys a shout out. Good to see you guys. Some folks saying that the show was great this evening. Thanks for your kind words. You guys are so thoughtful. Thank you for your kind words there. Yeah, so let me start with some folks. I saw a name early on. I want to start with. Let me say good night to Gail Allicock. Gail Allicock. Good evening to you, Gail. Good evening to Elizabeth Norine. Good evening to Raymond Norine there in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Antonia, and Ariane, and Lizelle, and Amara, and Alicia. Good night to all the cousins and the grandbabies, everybody. Good night to all of you. Good night to Yvette. Good night to Yvette Jarek there in Connecticut. Good night to Yvette. Good night to Rickford and his entire family circle there in Brooklyn, New York. All the folks from the CGID who hosted us a couple weeks ago and made us feel so special. Good night to each and every one of you. Good night to Claire Alexis Richmond. Good night to you, Claire and Clive Jackson, Royston Wilson, joining us in the suburbs. Royston is joining us on YouTube. Good to see you there, Royston. Roseanne Princess, good to see you, Roseanne. And Rayon Nurse, good to see you, Rayon, as well. Let me see who else we have here. I see Paulette Devonish. Paulette Devonish, come on down. Come on down, Paulette. Come on down. Y'all like nonsense, no? Good to see you, Clive Jackson, as well. All you fantastic folks. Coretta Millington. That's my squaddy. Coretta Millington. Great to see you, Coretta. Allison Martinez. Good to see you, Allison. Warnella Garnett. Good to see you there. Teresa. Hold on. Wait a cotton picking minute. Where Teresa going so fast? Teresa Jilts. Teresa, thanks for the thing, girl. Teresa, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Teresa, you have blessed us. You've touched our heart. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Teresa. Folks, those folks who are partnering with us, we got to give them a special shout out. You know, you got to treat your people who come out for you properly. Teresa, I want to give you the next 10, you the next 10 minutes. Joylyn Cook and Melissa Thomas, Siobhan Cumberbatch, great to see all of you. Great to see all of you. Rosie Rose Jeff, Rosie Rose Jeff, good to see you. Joylyn Cook and all the other fantastic folks out there. Osmond and Rondell Hamilton, Osmond Hodge, Shondell Ward, Angela, good to see you, Angela. I see Vanessa Calendar. Y'all folks, y'all hear the accent? Vanessa Calendar. Folks, if you haven't shared the live stream, please remember to share the live stream. Those of you who are going to come back and watch the program later, we ask that you guys share the live stream as well. Folks, we ain't capping, you know. We ain't capping. Michelle Williams. Doc, how you doing? Doc. Good to see you, Doc. Good to see you, all you fantastic folks. Folks, when you show up and you all show off yourselves, y'all touch me, you know. Y'all touch me right here, telling you, touch me right here. And we don't touch it easily. Respect our manners, ringsiders. Respect our manners. Good to see all you fantastic folks. Rick Gary. Is what Alison Martinez telling you there. Rick Gary. Andrew Cosbord, good to see you as well. And Angela McDonald, good to see you, Angela. Urta, good to see you, Urtha as well. I hope I'm calling that name right. Iceni Roberts, am I calling that one right? Roxanne Smith, Roxanne. Angela again, Amanda Daniels, Clive Jackson, good to see you, Clive. Amanda, good to see Angela, good to see you. Angela, thanks for the information early on. Thanks, Angela. Clive Jackson, Denise London Welshman, good to see you, Denise. Who am I now? I'm British, I even know. We assimilate so quickly, us Guyanese. Is it Garika Husbands? Good to see you. Is it Garika or Garika Husbands? Good to see you. Rick, your name calling boy. Otto, good to see you there, Otto. I Candy Lisa. Good to see you, I Candy. Lisa, I hope it's real I Candy, you know. You know, a lot of people say them is I Candy, but really and truly is I sore. I hope it's real I Candy. Otto Martin, good to see you, Otto. Paulette Greaves, good to see you, Paulette, as well. Yes, Otto, you're welcome. You're welcome, Otto. It's our privilege. Oh, Father, the show done. It's 10 minutes later. It's 15 minutes later. 2,000 of y'all still watching. What happened? You have a little porridge for drink? Go y'all bed, man. Folks, we love having you guys. Let's fight. We gotta fight, folks. Good to have you folks with us. Good to have you folks with us. All right. Y'all pee, catch, drink your porridge and tuck in. tuck in. I candy. Look. I candy. I want empirical evidence. I candy, Lisa. I want empirical evidence. 6276963. I want empirical evidence. Me want bluff. Veronica Primo Rollins. Y'all don't get in between us. Good. Stop it. Veronica Primo Rollins. Good to see you there. Good to see you, all of you folks. Thanks for joining us this evening for That's It. Is it Andai or is it Adai Bacchus? Adeiye. Adeiye. 6276963. Send me the pronunciation of the name and a voice note. 6276963. Sandra Hawker. Good to see you, folks. Thanks for joining us this evening. Have a fantastic rest of the night and be safe. Be safe, folks. Be safe.